With Matpat retiring, I wanted to give him the ultimate gift. The feeling of being a loyal theorist, going into a game theory with a ridiculous question and coming out understanding and truly believing the answer. So come with me, Matpat, as I take you along the journey that we've taken for 12 years, as you get to feel how it's like to be a loyal theorist.
Internet, and welcome to Neem Theory, where the only thing bigger than the questions we ask is the planet Jupiter. Speaking of Jupiter, did you ever hear the common rhyme in school that boys go to Jupiter to get more stupider, but girls go to college to get more knowledge? You might have also heard that girls go to Mars to buy more bras? Or perhaps you wanted to jump deeper into the rhymes of the schoolyard and you remember, boys are rotten, made of cotton, girls are dandy, made of candy. Man, the matriarchal dictatorship that our poor men must put up with. Stay strong, alphas. Keep mewing. So today, I wanted to prove once and for all if there's actually any evidence for this. Do boys actually want to go to Jupiter? And if so, would they in fact get more stupider? And after you hear all the evidence that I've collected, you'll never look at your favorite gas giant the same ever again. And after I've answered that, I'd invite you to stick around, as I have a little message to send to you, Matpat. And they're words that I truly hope you do get to hear. And they're words that I've honestly wanted to say for almost a decade. So it's time to strap ourselves in, loyal theorists, blast past the moon, and see if we end up at the gaseous giant of them all. No, come on, are we 12? I know we covered Skibbity Toilet just the other day, but come on, grow up. So to answer this question, we need to break it into two pieces. 1, do boys actually want to go to Jupiter? And 2, does going to Jupiter even make you more stupider? Well, to answer that question, we'd need to establish that there is in fact a dominantly male bias towards the appreciation of Jupiter. So, I took my question to the streets, donning my finest base warehouse spacesuit, and I got to work asking the public.
Hi there. Hi. Saturn? That's a great choice.
So with my sign in hand, wearing a jumpsuit on a 37-degree day, Celsius, I started to gather data on what people's favorite planets were.
It's Uranus, is it?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I don't know, I like it.
Uranus! Yes, mate.
It's actually pronounced Uranus.
It's actually pronounced Uranus. You're very thoughtful about this, I respect that.
It's safe to say that the beach-residing residents of Australia haven't regularly been checking up on their very elderly mother who just served them noodles, because many of them only answered with 2 answers. The planet they're standing on, and Uranus.
Yeah.
What is Uranus?
Uranus! Yes!
I'm gonna say Earth.
Earth? I get it, we're here. I mean, that's, yeah, fair enough.
I've never seen any others.
That's true. Oh, it says, what's your favourite planet? Good on you, mate. Good on you. Uranus.
But nonetheless, the public were very good sports about the whole game.
I feel like an evangelist. A good man of the gospel. God made these planets.
And to ensure that I got enough data, I put a poll out to you loyal theorists, asking you directly about your favourite planets, and placing that together with your gender, along with any second thoughts you might want to add. And after 172 responses came flooding in, the results were shocking. But the comments on the side were also very interesting read, such as... Sigma, the entire lyrics to the 7 Seas of Rye. Meow, nuh-uh, I want to hit the gritty on Mars in a My Little Pony mankini someday. Hamburger, PP huge, trust. Mr. Clancy has Skibbity Riz. Where's Pluto? Where is Pluto always overlooked? Pluto is supreme. Just because it's a dwarf planet doesn't mean it can't be included. I prefer Pluto. No Pluto? Kill yourself. I think Pluto is left out because of its size. Size does not matter. Where the flip is Pluto, boo-boo? I would have chose Pluto if it was there. Aw, Pluto is my baby pookie wookie. I miss Pluto. Anus. 3 raccoons fit inside Uranus. Hehe, anus again. And why is your ass not an option? And C. Smartest show in gaming really needs the tangential learning experience, as it seems. But nonetheless, the way the data actually panned out in the end was astounding. For the male category, we saw a pretty even spread of interest, favouring the gas giants admittedly, and Mercury, for some reason. I guess the boys just have a lot of respect and support for the short kings. But nonetheless, the interest of Jupiter as a planet didn't stand out much, as there were only 14% of participants who actually voted for Jupiter as their planet of interest, beaten out by both Uranus and Mercury. Uranus, one of the boys, and also looking out for the short kings. But it wasn't the male category that surprised me, no. It was the not male category, where the rock planets were barely thought of, with Mercury receiving only 1% of the votes, and Mars not even receiving any scraps with 0%. But the gas giants, oh well. In the not male category, Jupiter was clearly the favorite, with a whopping 30% of votes, only followed by the ring-bearing goddess Saturn on 27, and the now defeated Uranus on 24. As it turns out, it was not the men who wanted to go to Jupiter. In fact, it was everyone else. When little Tiffany in the playground said that you wanted to go to Jupiter to get more stupider, well, you should have whipped out your multi-page dissertation on why she's wrong, brutalizing that little kindergartner with the facts. But something that's also really interesting to note is a very clear contending factor in all this research. Both the study and the real-world questioning revealed an evil that was deep. The Uranus bias. No matter if you were a boy, a girl, or Ness, you liked Uranus. Everyone wanted Uranus. Everyone needed Uranus. In fact, those who wanted Uranus didn't even hesitate to say it, sometimes completing the survey as quick as 5 seconds compared to a Jupiter stan who took their sweet jolly time with 7 to 8 seconds on average. Everyone likes Uranus and they know it. So let's ask the next logical question. If you did go to Jupiter, would you get more stupider? Well, the makeup of Jupiter, according to NASA's website, is majorly hydrogen and helium. So if Jupiter did make you more stupider, you would expect to see that hydrogen or helium would have an effect on the brain if it was to be intaken in large amounts. Well, as it turns out, hydrogen actually has more positive health effects on the human body and organs, showing results of anti-aging and regulation of cell death. In fact, in terms of brain activity, hydrogen can even alleviate trauma. So what about helium? Well, in a report by the American Society of Anesthesiology, experimental tests shows that, quote, helium exerts cellular effects in vitro and in vivo, and it reduces ischemia preparation. I should have read the script before this. It reduces damage in cardiac and brain tissue. In other words, it means that helium helps restore blood flow to possibly blood-restricted areas. This means that both hydrogen and helium would be working for your brain, actually making it stronger. So let's suppose that it's less about what the gas is and more about what it's doing to your brain. Jupiter is big, really big, and with all that mass comes all that gravity, meaning all that aforementioned helium, and it's going to be super condensed and pressurized, and that in turn means heat. Well, according to the Society of Neuroscience, the human brain starts to shut down at a temperature of 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So, if Jupiter's heat exceeds that, we should expect to see a negative effect of long-term exposure on the brain. So, back on NASA's website, we can see that Jupiter has an internal temperature of, holy sands, 50,000 degrees Celsius! That's gonna be a little over the 40-degree limit. If you were teleported to Jupiter, you wouldn't even instantly evaporate. Instead, your atoms would try and fly apart from all the extra energy, but the extreme density would force your atoms back into a state of liquid as they have nowhere else to go. You would not just be more stupider, you would not be. Full stop. To be or not to be. But on Jupiter, there's only one option. So there, my loyal theorists, is our answer. If you were to go to Jupiter, you wouldn't just be more stupider. You would be lights out before you could shake a bag of exotic butters. But honestly, I don't think it's the boys that need to worry that much, because it does seem to be the case that it's not them buying their tickets to go to Jupiter anyway. In fact, it's everyone else who's interested. But at the end of the day, there's just something that draws us all to Uranus.
So that's it, my loyal theorists. At the end of the day, it turns out that boys don't actually want to even go to Jupiter. And if they did, they'd get a lot more than just more stupider. But let's be real for a moment and just admit that yes, this was a ridiculous question and it's not the point of the video. Of course, the point of this video is not just to say, boys, go to Jupiter. No, the point of this video is to say thank you to Matpat. Simply that. Now, I warn you, this part of the video is scripted. Loosely, but it is scripted. I know myself well enough to know that I will go off the rails and I will ad-lib. So, bear with me. I have to say so much of a thank you to Matpat. I owe him so much of a thank you. And not just because he was my childhood ruiner since 2011, and not just because he was my childhood, but because he's the reason I am who I am today. You see, when it was 2016, I remember the utter joy I felt when I was given a lone laptop by the school. It was a crappy little Dell, but it was my absolute pride and joy. And at my old house, I had no internet connection. It was this crappy little cottage in the middle of a bushy area, of course, we're Australian like that. So that meant my time spent at my grandfather's house, where he had free Wi-Fi that was unlimited, was the most cherishable of moments. And how would I spend those moments? I was watching YouTube, but more specifically, I was watching game theory, and only game theory. I watched episode after episode after episode, and I tell you, I know how much Diamond Armor costs. I know how fast Sonic is. Spoiler alert, not very. And I know that Mario is a communist sociopath, and I know about every height he's ever been. Hell, I even know that the purple guy, he's the phone guy. I couldn't get enough game theory. And the GT Live couch, well, that became my second home. And that was before it looked like this, and more like this. I knew that you shouldn't yiff the fox. I knew about how Earl's bombs bursting in midair. I knew about Nugget and his Nugget cave. It's hard to make a part of the video like this after all the ridiculousness without sounding too cringe, but in some way, Matpat and Stephanie were like a, oh, shoot me, I shouldn't be emotional. This is meant to, this is cringe, bro. Matpat and Stephanie were like a internet father and mother to me, where I just felt comfortable there. I felt inspired. I didn't just want to watch, I wanted to be like them. I remember in 2017 when I was in Positano in Italy, one of the most beautiful places on the planet. It was June and it was perfect to be in a place which has lovely rocky beaches and all the goodness of the earth. And yet, where was my mind at? My mind was at the fact that Matpat had just released a video about Super Mario Odyssey and the fact that the bananas that Donkey Kong had made you massive, and that explains the 10-foot people. The reason I bring that up is because at the beginning of that video, he does a merch plug. Now, normally, in today's world, you skip that. For me, 11 years old, almost 12, I was mind blown. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can show my theorist pride. I can walk around and be part of the fold. And so I begged my mother throughout the entirety of our Italy trip that I could get a game theory t-shirt. And my mum, because it was almost my birthday, she said yes. And so here it is, boys! Somehow, at 18 years old, it still fits me. And I loved this shirt so much. I live, breathe, eat, slept in it. I loved it. I even integrated it into the OC that I had created for Scratch, which was the online programming website for kids, because this shirt became part of my identity. And I was trying to forge an identity as a creator, but an identity for myself. I just turned 12, literally, and I was knocking on the door of adolescence, where you naturally do beg, who am I? And you try to work that out through watching people and listening to people, and for me that was Matpat. I adored his charisma and his confidence and his debatable intelligence, I guess you could say. And so I created a video series between me and my friends called Meep Theory, which is the most horrific combination of letters that you could ever imagine. But Meep Theory for me was my video making origin, I guess you could say. It was a combination of Matthew, the dragon theorist, Ethan, the Nova theorist, who still goes by that name even today on Scratch, so if you feel like looking at some fun games with good animations, please check him out. But for me, my 5 videos that I made by myself, they taught me that video making's hard, but it's what I wanted to do. But also it showed me how much love he put into what he did, and that I shouldn't just be plugging a whole bunch of audio clips with photos into Windows Live Movie Maker and letting it chug out within a day. No, there was a care and attention to detail, and there was a real skill to all of it. And you can see in those 5 videos, which I've now put on Nemo V2, they're not entertaining. I don't recommend doing a binge, but if you do watch them, you'll see the adoration I have for the style of content. But where I was going was that you will see the progression of my skill level, where I stopped just being basic in my ability, and I actually started to understand pacing and timing, and whilst I never got good, let's be clear, I started to understand. And I carried that into my YouTube video making later on, and you can even see the signature game theory shirt. Now, the Meep Theory videos were a direct rip-off of Matpat and his content. I said everything he said, I did everything he did.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Game Theory.
Hey guys, welcome to Meep Theory.
Clap and a half.
That was a meep and a half. I know it sounded like 2 claps, but it was really a meep and a half. Hashtag not copyright of a clap and a half.
But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory.
But that's just a theory. A meep theory.
I even copied a joke from his first YouTube video where he does "We'll start off" and he shows "We'll start off." I did the exact same thing, but the screenshot that I stole was not even from his video, it was from his reaction to his video from a GT Live clip. That's how funny the layering of this all goes. Now, I've grown since being 12. I sometimes have a beard, maybe convincingly, possibly. Nonetheless, I do feel like I owe Matpat a thank you. And of course Stephanie, and of course the entire Team Theorist team, except Jason, blame Jason. I completely owe everything to them, because without the dedication and the passion and the love that went into all those videos, I would not be sat here working on some silly video at 1 AM and loving every second of it. Oh, this is cringe, but like, I'm a product of the Game Theory YouTube channel. I used to have this dream, and I mean very literally, I used to go to bed and dream that I'd meet Matpat, and I'd be like, oh, hi, I'm a fan. Now I think it's different, you know, with him retiring and all. Now I think if I did meet Matpat, I'd love to just sit down with him, have a coffee, and talk about anything from old theories to musical theatre, because that's something we've shared an interest in. But I just want to say thank you, because I shouldn't be getting emotional, but I really do mean it, because it has been a funny 6 years. At the end of the day, I'd hope I could do him proud. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'll make a film that gets shown on Film Theory with the new host, and Matpat might watch that and go, hey, this kid's got something. This was really dumb, because I was going to record the intro to this video after I recorded the ending, which is so dumb because now I look like this, and I didn't actually expect to cry or anything, so I don't know where this has come from. I practiced this. I sat in front of the camera and did like 4 practice runs of this monologue before recording, so I don't know where this has come from. But yes, I'll cool down. It's time I say something on the internet I've wanted to say since I was just a kid, making videos that I emailed to my friends. In honor of that kid with a dream and the man who inspired me, I want to say, remember that it's all just a theory. A game theory. I'll see you in the next one.